After years and years of battle, the Israelites finally start to claim their inheritance. But who gets what? Hey everyone, and welcome to the Unadorned Bible, the channel where we're reading chronologically through the Bible in 1 year. I am so glad that you are here today. I hope you're having a great day. Today is day 85 of our journey, and we are reading Joshua 13 through 16. Before we dive in, I just want to say, if you're enjoying this channel, please like the video, subscribe so that we can get the word out to more people. I'd love it if you would share this with your friends. Appreciate everything that you do and appreciate you being here today. So let's dive in. Joshua chapter 13. Now, Joshua was old and advanced in years. And the Lord said to him, "You are old and advanced in years, and very much of the land still remains to be possessed. This is the land that still remains. All the regions of the Philistines, all of those of the Geshurites, from Sihor, which is near Egypt, northward to the boundary of Ekron, it is reckoned as Canaanite. There are 5 rulers of the Philistines, those of Gaza, Ashdod, Ashkelon, Gath, and Ekron, and those of the Avim in the south. All the land of the Canaanites, and Merah that belongs to the Sidonians, to Aphek, to the boundaries of the Amorites, and the land of the Gebalites, and all Lebanon toward the east from Baal-Gad below Mount Hermon to Lebo-Hamath. All the inhabitants of the hill country from Lebanon to Misrephoth-Maim, even all the Sidonians. I will myself drive them out from before the Israelites. Only allot the land to Israel for an inheritance, as I have commanded you. Now therefore divide this land for an inheritance to the 9 tribes and the half-tribe of Manasseh." With the other half-tribe of Manasseh, the Reubenites and the Gadites received their inheritance, which Moses gave them beyond the Jordan eastward, as Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave them from Aroer, which is on the edge of the Wadi Arnon, and the town that is in the middle of the valley, and all the tableland from Medeba as far as Dibon, and all the cities of King Sihon of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon, as far as the boundary of the Ammonites, and Gilead, and the region of the Geshurites and the Maachathites, and all Mount Hermon, and all Bashan to Selakah, all the kingdom of Og in Bashan, who reigned in Ashtaroth and in Adriai. He alone was left out of the survivors of the Rephaim. These Moses had defeated and driven out. Yet the Israelites did not drive out the Geshurites or the Maachathites, but Geshur and Maachath live with Israel to this day. To the tribe of Levi alone Moses gave no inheritance. The offerings by fire to the Lord God of Israel are their inheritance, as he said to them. Moses gave an inheritance to the tribe of the Reubenites according to their families. Their territory was from Aroer, which is on the edge of the Wadi Arnon, and the town that is in the middle of the valley, and all the tableland by Medeba, with Heshbon and all its towns that are in the tableland, Dibon and Bemoth Baal, and Beth Baal Meon, and Jahaz, and Kedemoth, and Mepath, and Kirithaim, and Sibmah, and Zareth Sahar, on the hill of the valley, and Beth Peor, and the slopes of Pisgah, and Beth Jeshimoth. That is, all the towns of the tableland, and all the kingdom of King Sihon of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon, whom Moses defeated with the leaders of Midian, Evi, and Rekem, and Zur, and Hur, and Reba, as princes of Sihon, who lived in the land. Along with the rest of those they put to death. The Israelites also put to the sword Balaam, son of Beor, who practiced divination. This was the inheritance of the Reubenites according to their families with their towns and villages. Moses gave an inheritance also to the tribe of the Gadites according to their families. Their territory was Jazer, and all the towns of Gilead, and half the land of the Ammonites, to Aroer, which is near Reba, and from Heshbon to Ramath Mizpah, and Betanim, and from Mahanaim to the territory of Debir, and in the valley of Beth Haram, Beth Nimrah, Succoth, and Zaphon, the rest of the kingdom of King Sihon of Heshbon. The Jordan and its banks as far as the lower end of the Sea of Kinnereth, eastward beyond the Jordan. This is the inheritance of the Gadites according to their families with their towns and villages. Moses gave an inheritance to the half-tribe of Manasseh. It was allotted to the half-tribe of Manassites according to their families. Their territory extended from Mahanaim through Bashan, the whole kingdom of King Og of Bashan, and all the settlements of Jair, which are in Bashan, 60 towns. And half of Gilead, and Ashtaroth, and Edrei, the towns of the kingdom of Og in Bashan. These were allotted to the people of Machir, son of Manasseh, according to their families, for half the Machirites. These are the inheritances that Moses distributed in the plains of Moab, beyond the Jordan, east of Jericho. But to the tribe of Levi Moses gave no inheritance. The Lord God of Israel is their inheritance, as he said to them. Chapter 14. These are the inheritances of the Israelites received in the land of Canaan, which the priest Eleazar and Joshua son of Nun and the heads of the families of the tribes of the Israelites distributed to them. Their inheritance was by lot, as the Lord had commanded Moses, for the 9 1/2 tribes. For Moses had given an inheritance to the 2 1/2 tribes beyond the Jordan, but to the Levites he gave no inheritance among them. For the people of Joseph were 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim, and no portion was given to the Levites in the land, but only the towns to live in, with their pasture lands for their flocks and herds. The Israelites did as the Lord had commanded. They allotted the land. Then the people of Judah came to Joshua at Gilgal, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, he said to him, "You know what the Lord said to Moses, the man of God, in Kadesh Barnea, concerning you and me. I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land, and I brought him an honest report. But my companions who went with me made the heart of the people melt. Yet I wholeheartedly followed the Lord my God. And Moses swore on that day, saying, Surely the land on which your foot has trodden shall be an inheritance for you and your children forever, because you have wholeheartedly followed the Lord my God. And now, as you see, the Lord has kept me alive, as he said these 45 years since that time that the Lord spoke this word to Moses, while Israel was journeying through the wilderness, and here I am today, 85 years old. I am still as strong today as I was on that day that Moses sent me. My strength now is as my strength was then, for war and for going and coming. So now give me this hill country of which the Lord spoke on that day, for you heard on that day how the Anakim were there, with great fortified cities. It may be that the Lord will be with me, and I will drive them out, as the Lord said." Then Joshua blessed him, and gave Hebron to Caleb son of Jephunneh for an inheritance. So Hebron became the inheritance of Caleb son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite to this day, because he wholeheartedly followed the Lord, the God of Israel. Now the name of Hebron formerly was Kiriath Arba. Arba was the greatest man among the Anakim, and the land had rest from war. Chapter 15. The lot for the tribe of the people of Judah, according to their families, reached southward to the boundary of Edom, to the wilderness of Zin at the farthest south. And their south boundary ran from the end of the Dead Sea, from the bay that faces southward. It goes out southward of the ascent of Akrabim, passes along to Zin, and goes up south of Kadesh Barnea, along by Hezron, up to Adar, makes a turn at Karka, passes along to Asmon, goes out by the Wadi of Egypt, and comes to its end at the sea. This shall be your south boundary. And the east boundary is the Dead Sea, to the mouth of the Jordan. And the boundary on the north side runs from the bay of the sea at the mouth of the Jordan, and the boundary goes up to Beth Hagla, and passes along north at Beth Araba. And the boundary goes up to the stone of Bohan, Reuben's son. And the boundary goes up to Debir from the valley of Achor, and so northward, turning towards Gilgal, which is opposite the ascent of Adamim, which is on the south side of the valley. And the boundary passes along the waters of En Shemesh, and ends at En Rogel. Then the boundary goes up by the valley of the son of Hinron, at the southern slope of the Jebusites, that is Jerusalem. And the boundary goes up to the top of the mountain that lies over against the valley of Hinnom on the west, at the northern end of the valley of Rephaim. Then the boundary extends from the top of the mountain to the spring of the waters of Nephthah, and from there to the towns of Mount Ephron. Then the boundary bends around to Bala, that is Kiriath Jearim, and the boundary circles west to Bala to Mount Seir, passes along to the northern slope of Mount Jearim, and goes down to Beth Shemesh, and passes along by Timnah. The boundary goes out to the slope of the hill country of Ekron. Then the boundary bends around to Shikharon, and passes along to Mount Bala, and goes out to Jabneel. Then the boundary comes to an end at the sea. And the west boundary is the Mediterranean with its coast. This is the boundary surrounding the people of Judah according to their families. But to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, Joshua gave a portion among the people of Judah according to the commandment of the Lord to Joshua. Kiriath Arba, that is, Hebron. Arba was the father of Anak. And Caleb drove out from there the 3 sons of Anak, Sheshai, Ahim, and Talmai, the descendants of Anak. From there he went up against the inhabitants of Debir. Now the name of Debir formerly was Kiriath Sepher. And Caleb said, Whoever attacks Kiriath Sepher and takes it, to him I will give my daughter Akasah as wife. Othniel, son of Kenaz, the brother of Caleb, took it, and he gave him his daughter Akasah as wife. When she came to him, she urged him to ask her father for a field. As she dismounted from her donkey, Caleb said to her, What do you wish? She said to him, Give me a present. Since you have set me in the land of the Negev, give me springs of water as well. So Caleb gave her the upper springs and the lower springs. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Judah according to their families. The towns belonging to the tribe of the people of Judah in the extreme south toward the boundary of Edom were Kabzeel, Eder, Jagur, Kenah, Dimana, Adadah, Kadesh, Hazor, Ithnan, Ziph, Telem, Bealoth, Hazor Hadath, Kiriath Hezron, that is Hazor, Amam, Shema, Molada, Hazar-Gada, Heshman, Beth Pelet, Hazar Shual, Beersheba, Bizal-Theath, Bala, Lim, Ezim, Eltolad, Kizel, Hormah, Ziklag, Madmana, Sasana, Lebath, Shillim, Ain, and Rimmon. In all 29 towns with their villages. And in the lowland Eshdau, Zorah, Ashna, Zanoah, Inganim, Tapu, Enam, Jarmuth, Adullam, Soko, Azekah, Sharim, Adithaim, Gedera, Gederothaim, 14 towns with their villages. Zinan, Hadashah, Migdal-Gad, Dilan, Mizpah, Joktheel, Lachish, Bosca, Eglon, Kaban, Laham, Kitlish, Gederath, Beth Dagon, Nema, and Mekkedah, 16 towns with their villages. Libnah, Ether, Ashan, Iftah, Ashna, Nezib, Keilah, Akzib, and Mareshah, 9 towns with their villages. Ekron, with its towns and villages, from Ekron to the sea, all that were near Ashdod with their villages. Ashdod, its towns and its villages, Gaza, its town and its villages, to the Wadi of Egypt, and the great sea with its coast. And in the hill country, Shamir, Jatir, Soko, Dana, Kiriath Sanah, that is Debir, Anab, Eshtemoth, Anim, Goshen, Holon, and Gilo, 11 towns with their villages. Arab, Duma, Eshan, Janim, Beth Tupah, Aphekah, Humtha, Kiriath Arba, and Zior, 9 towns with their villages. Maon, Carmel, Ziph, Jetta, Jezreel, Jokdeam, Zanoah, Cain, Gibeah, and Timnah, 10 towns with their villages. Halhul, Bethzur, Gedor, Maarath, Bethanath, and Eltekon, 6 towns with their villages. Kiriath Baal, that is Kiriath Jearim, and Rabbah, 2 towns with their villages. In the wilderness, Beth-Arabah, Midian, Sekaka, Nibshan, the city of salt, and En-Gedi, 6 towns with their villages. But the people of Judah could not drive out the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem. So the Jebusites live with the people of Judah in Jerusalem to this day. Chapter 16. The allotment of the Josephites went from the Jordan by Jericho, east of the waters of Jericho, into the wilderness, going up from Jericho into the hill country to Bethel. Then, going from Bethel to Luz, it passes along Adaroth, the territories of the Archites. Then it goes downward westward to the territory of Japhletites, as far as the territory of Lower Beth Horon, then to Gezer, and it ends at the sea. The Josephites, Manasseh and Ephraim, received their inheritance. The territory of the Ephraimites by their families was as follows. The boundary of their inheritance on the east was Adaroth Adar as far as Upper Beth Horon, and the boundary goes from there to the sea. On the north is Mikmethathoth. Then on the east of the boundary makes a turn toward Taanath Shiloh and passes along beyond it to the east to Genoa. Then it goes down from Genoa to Adaroth and to Neirah and touches Jericho, ending at the Jordan. From Tappuah the boundary goes westward to the Wadi Kanah and ends at the sea. Such is the inheritance of the tribe of the Ephraimites by their families, together with the towns that were set apart for the Ephraimites within the inheritance of the Manassites, all those towns with their villages. They did not, however, drive out the Canaanites who lived in Gezer, so the Canaanites have lived with Ephraim to this day, but have been made to do forced labor. This ends the reading for today. Caleb didn't let his age or obstacles stop him. He was ready to claim what God had promised. What's one thing you've been hesitant to step into? Let me know in the comments, and come back tomorrow for what happens next. I'll talk to you then. Take care.